Today I'm going to be sharing with you 3 tips on how to stop feeling lonely. How loneliness is just a self-perspective, and how loneliness is a state of desperation that could be turned into peaceful solitude. And lastly, how being alone can teach you more about love than having someone or something. What is going on, awakened ones? Welcome to another video on the love of wisdom. If you've been following me so far on this journey, I love you dearly. But if you're new to this channel, my name is Brittany, and what I do is that I awaken people to seeing their power to find the infinite love within themselves. So on today's episode, I'm going to be sharing with you how to stop feeling lonely. 3 tips on how loneliness is just a self-perspective, and how loneliness is a state of desperation but could be turned into peaceful solitude. And lastly, how being alone could teach you more about love than having someone or something. Now, understand that loneliness is just a word. It's not something that is true. It's not something that we have to believe in. I remember that majority of my life I've always been with myself, and I never really had that many friends. I've had friends. I knew a lot of people. I've been into like different multiple relationships, and even when I did break up, a lot of people would tell me, you need someone, and that just brought me into like a state of confusion where I did start to believe that. But overall, as I started to grow spiritually and maturely spiritually at that, I started to realize that loneliness is just the first tip. It's just a self-perspective. Now, how is it a self-perspective? Loneliness could bring us into a state of feeling like we're unworthy of love that we feel like we deserve. Just because someone treated us a certain way, just because the people that we love treat us a certain way, it does not mean there's something wrong with us. And it does not mean we're unworthy. And don't form that belief in thinking that loneliness is a sad concept. It's really not. Majority of people in this world feel so lonely, and they're trying to seek the fulfillment of that void. And realizing at the end of the day, when they do have someone, or they do have the things that bring them that little bit of sense of happiness or peace, they're still unfulfilled. They're still miserable. And I can vouch for that because I was the same way too. I always was seeking, chasing, wanting from a state of needing. And then in doing that, I started to see the foundation that I built that was just broken. It wasn't built on something steady. It was just probably built on 2 sticks that were trying to hold itself up, and it couldn't stand any longer. And I come to realize that it was just a belief, a perspective I put on myself, and thinking that I was unworthy of things that I deserved in my life. And that's why majority of things pummel into a place where we think it would never fall down. But in reality, if you realize that you form a belief in thinking you're unworthy and not having things that you want in your surroundings because you're not forming a self-belief that you are love yourself. What you seek, you already are. And know that you're already loved. You're already loved. You don't need things or someone to make you feel that love so you do not feel empty or alone. Now, the second tip I want to get into. This is a really deep one. How loneliness is a state of desperation, but it could really be turned into a peaceful solitude. And what do I mean by that? Loneliness, like I said, we allow ourselves to really belittle ourselves and go within the past and look at, traumatizing events that make us feel like we were so little and so unworthy. And then we form that belief in thinking that we're not worthy of love, and to the point that we start to feel lonely. And here's the thing. We can never be lonely in this world where we were created by a creator that deliberately reminded us that we are always loved and we are never alone. Because when you start to feel that sense of love or fulfillment or hope that's a sign that you're not alone. That's a sign that's, that's our creator, your guides, your angels trying to tell you, wake up. We're here for you. We're here for you. But let's get back into that. Let's get back into how is it desperation. A lot of us are seeking the need to want to be with someone. Now in the time on earth right now, a lot of people are finding their soulmates. There's a lot of people finding their twin flame. And here's the thing I want to let you know. If you just got out of a bad relationship, or recently did, and you're being here for yourself instead of seeking out a relationship, if that person that broke up with you or you broke up with them jumps into another relationship, don't worry about that, because that's none of your business. And you can never know. Like me, when the person I was deeply in love with left me and they immediately got into another relationship, who knows? The other person might have been their soulmate. The other person might have been their twin flame. The other person might have been the person they were meant to be with. But one, that's none of your business. And don't allow the outside forces to determine how you should feel about yourself. And here's another thing. When you give your energy out a lot, when you start thinking of a person you want to be with, when you start thinking about your ex, when you start thinking about those kind of people, and you start feeling lonely, you create a frequency of desperation. And here's the thing, you start to feel that cord, that energetic cord, and your power is being taken away by that. You're giving away so much of your productive energy. And here's another thing, being desperate is so counterproductive. It's so the opposite of what you desire. Instead of feeling alone and thinking that you're lonely, start realizing that the reason why things and people leave your life is because you didn't deserve those things. It's because those things didn't deserve you. And when things get taken out your life, it's just making room for more better things to come through your life. And loneliness puts you in a state of depression, a state of desperation, to the point you're not going to allow space for the new to come in. You're not going to allow the evolvement of what you need to grow into to have that new love come into your life. That new love that you know that you deserve. Now here is how you can turn feeling lonely into peaceful solitude. Understand this. You are already your own twin flame. You are already your own soulmate, your protector, your lover. You're already all these things for yourself. You don't need anything outside of you to be those things when you're already them yourself. If you take yourself out to eat, you're your own date. And I'm going to get a little deep. If you masturbate, you're your own lover. If you're the one who inspires you to do your best, you're your own twin flame. If you see the best in yourself, you're already your own soulmate. And if you truly, tremendously love who you are already what you seek. And here's another thing. Enjoy the space and the time with yourself. There's nothing more peaceful that I've come to learn in my life than realizing of me enjoying my own company. Because a long time, when I felt lonely, I would seek out hanging out with people I did not want to hang out with. I started consuming things and doing things I knew I did not want to do because I just felt lonely. And in doing that, not only did I let go of a lot of energy, but I started to realize I'm doing things that goes against what I know is true for me. And then I started to realize I was losing parts of myself that I knew so well just to be around people who didn't enjoy my own company. And that made me feel so worthless. Why would you want to be around people who don't appreciate you, that don't enjoy your company, and that don't want to love you, even though you keep telling them what you desire in the relationship? You're just hurting yourself. So understand that enjoying your own company and knowing that you're your own lover, your own soulmate, your own twin flame, your own everything, your own peacemaker, your own protector, you will come to realize that you are already all the things that you seek. And that brings you into a state of enjoying your own solitude. There's a difference between loneliness and solitude. Loneliness is a state of needing. Solitude is a state of being. So you just allow yourself to be, and you enjoy that piece of who you truly are. Okay, now the last thing is going to be the deepest one. I think I kind of just covered it in the second tip. The last and third tip. How being alone could teach you more about love than having someone or something. This is the most biggest thing I've ever allowed myself to really absorb and be aware of. And I want to share this with you because I feel like it's going to be very beneficial. And I know it will transform your awareness. Being alone can teach you how to be more present. What do I mean by this? When you're around someone that you feel like you're truly in love with, you start to forget about you. You start to not really be present. You start to really focus on this person. And you start to really analyze them and get to know them and really see through them. And that sometimes, that energy you give out, you start to absorb energies of them, and you start to become them a little bit. You start to pick up on their habits, start doing what they're doing, and you really lose parts of yourself. And you really don't know why you got into a relationship in the first place, why you really don't know why you fell in love with this person or this thing in the first place. You start to forget your reasoning of why it all started, or why you got yourself involved in it. And then you just, sometimes we go on this path of delusion, where when that person acts a certain way we don't like, or this or that, we think it's okay. And then we start to forget what true love is all about, what love we want and deserve is all about. Now, I'm not saying being with someone or having the thing that you want won't teach you about love. It would. But you would not understand the true details or awareness that you need to evolve into while you are alone. I've come to learn, when I did have those relationships, I was those things. But when I started to be alone, I started to create peaceful solitude, I really started to look at my past actions, at my past relationships, and at everything that has propelled me into where I am now, that has molded me the way that I am. I started to realize that I didn't appreciate a lot of things. I didn't appreciate who I was. I didn't really put boundaries. I didn't really put the love in the things and the people that I had in that time. It's because I was so forgetful and I was so in tune about the outside rather than what was going on the inside. And that made me forget about who I am. And that made me forget about what love meant to me. Now, being alone is a power a lot of people can't handle. And I'm just being truthful. It's a power a lot of people can't handle. But when you want to choose to be alone, you will start to learn how peaceful it is, how wonderful it is to start loving you, how you start to realizing how much of a wonderful being that you are. And even though you did some things, you'll just be like, I did those things because I didn't know better at the time. Now I know better, and I'm glad I know better, because if I knew better, I wouldn't have grown into the person that I am today. So I'm glad those things happened, because I am who I am proud of being today. And I'm in love with that fact. When you can look at yourself from a state of compassion while you're in a state of being alone, you will learn so much about the world. You will learn so much about you. You will learn so much about how much power you hold within inside, and how much you realize a relationship I need needs to maintain this power. It needs to help me evolve more into this peace and this love that I know that I hold within, to the point that you're going to realize you're not just going to allow anyone in. You're not going to allow yourself to just grab onto anything or anyone. You're going to be very analytical about your life and how you're going to protect yourself and how you're going to love yourself. Because when you're alone, you learn to be your own protector. You learn to be your own lover. You learn to be your own caretaker. And to the point that you will not be naive anymore. You know how to set boundaries. You know what's best for you. And you know that expressing how you feel is going to be the most important thing that you ever do. Because you're not going to allow or tolerate things that are going to subside from that. That are not going to really link up to what it is that you truly need. And you're not going to be naive anymore. You're going to be smart this time. You're going to be intelligent with yourself because you know what you deserve. And therefore, you will never learn true love until you learn the true love that you hold within for yourself. Because yourself has more love for you. And if you don't have love for you, then you will never be able to attract the love that you know that you deserve. So being alone teaches you so much about how you can love yourself in a manner where you're going to allow things that you deserve into your life and propel things away that are not going to serve you in that love that you know that you deserve. So those were my tips for today of how to stop feeling lonely. You guys, stop feeling lonely. Just stop. There's no need for it. You're good enough as you are. You're beautiful as you are. And you don't deserve just anything. You deserve the most up high divine love ever. But that has to start with you. And you can only find that power by being alone. So don't feel lonely, because you're never alone. You're really not. You may seem like it physically, but you're really not internally. So start finding that peace within you. Start enjoying yourself, and start enjoying your solitude, and start doing things that make you happy. Because when you do have these, if you're not in love with who you are, and if you haven't learned to be alone and find that love and be one with it, no matter who you have, no matter what you have, you will always feel unfulfilled. Until you connect with yourself first, that's when true connection can come into your life. But if you enjoyed this video, like it, please give it a thumbs up. Also subscribe to my channel and follow me on Instagram. I will be putting more links in the description on articles and things and books on how, the topics I talk about, how getting more in depth can help you evolve into the more beautiful being that you truly are. But until then, you guys, if you like my videos, hit the notification button up top, as I will be doing daily videos. Not daily videos, I think every Saturday. I'm just going to give myself a break. But every other days of that, from Sunday to Friday, I will be doing videos every single day, so I can uplift you, so you can assist yourself in being the most powerful person that you know that you can be, with the true essence of love that's within them. So until then, I'll see you in the next one, you guys. Stay blissful, remain authentic,